の上のミシンとコウモリ傘、エビフライの上の納豆納豆。
Finn, you're like an ant to him.
Oh yeah? Well, this ant's about to get in his pants. What?
What is this place? Oh my
Shut
God.
the fuck up. You two bitches were just me. Never had any ideas smarter than getting yourselves a little bit more. But my brother Jay Bird here, this nigga was smart. He didn't just want more. He wanted more with compound interest.
Man, come on, Jimmy, please, man. You're getting
motherfucking dog.
Damn. Name is Snoop. Name is Snoop.
What's up? What? Motherfucking dog.
Damn. Name is Snoop.
Motherfucking dog.
Yeah. Name is Snoop.
Alright.
Name is Snoop.
Hi, I'm Drew Froststar. For some reason, I like just about everything. But as I was sitting in my room, I was reminded of a film I saw in 2001 and 2002 that starred Snoop Dogg and Pam Grier, and I just remember the plethora of silliness. The movie I'm referring to is known as Bones, a horror film about a gangster who was killed by a drug dealer and a corrupt detective. Now he's risen from the dead for revenge. Pam Grier stars along Snoop Dogg as Bones' former lover. You may recognize Pam Grier from blaxploitation movies such as Foxy Brown.
You don't treat her nice.
Sounds like a public menace.
Sure do.
Foxy's got guts. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I better warn you, I got a black belt in karate. And I got my black belt in bar stools.
She won't budge.
Jackie Brown.
AK-47 when you absolutely, positively got to kill every mother in the room, except no substitutes.
And Coffee.
My name's Coffin. I know what you want to, and you're gonna get it. This is the end of your rotten life, you dope pusher.
She was also in other things that may or may not be black exploitation, but I only bring up the blaxploitation movies for a reason. 1/4 of this movie plays out like a blaxploitation movie. Make me wonder why they didn't just make a slasher film in the guise of a blaxploitation movie, but I digress. Bones Past takes place in 1979, while the rest of the movie takes place in 2001, or the present, as the movie puts it. If this movie was just a slasher about an undead gangster out for revenge, it would have been silly, but I would have liked it more than I liked this one. But they had to get sillier. There's this plot about these kids who want to turn Bones' old house into a nightclub for some reason, and decide to stay in the nightclub in a way of ripping off House of Haunted Hill.
Yeah, right. And whichever of us is alive by the end of the week inherits all Vincent Price's cash.
Look.
So my real question is, was I scared of this movie? Nope, can't say I was scared. Even though what I think I was watching was a horror movie, I had the feeling what I was watching was a comedy. The movie starts out like a standard horror film with this old guy running from something. I paid this guy for death as the guy who dies in the beginning of a horror film just to say, yeah, you're watching a horror film. But this man makes it to his apartment, pulls out a gun and starts shooting at some demon dog. No, the real opening kill guys are these white boys who are trying to buy some drugs. The dealers do not trust the white boys, thinking that they're the police or something, so they tell them to go get the drugs themselves. And the drugs are stashed in the old house across from where the old man was shooting the dog is. The white guys find the drugs, but they hear the police and run back into the house. The police start to investigate the house, but his partner tells him his appointment is, which quickly switched to a short flashback which reveals that the detective knows more than he needs to know about.
Damn it.
Then the demon dog attacks the white boys, but they escape the house just for the old man to give them a warning that's a little too late.
Yo! Get away from there! Get...
Well, nice going, old man. You're 20 minutes too late. Warning couldn't have been more pointless. See, look, the house just ate those two guys. Now what do you have to say for yourself?
for outside are dogs and sorcerers. Revelation 22, verse 15.
Just shut up. We flash back to 1979 for the title sequence, which looked like it was shot exactly like a blaxploitation movie. Wait, did that name just say Hell or High Water? Is that a real production company name? If it is, it just shows how many horror movies I watch on purpose. Counting this one. Anyway, the opening shows what Bones' neighborhood looked like in 1979, only to flash to the present where we see the kids who want to turn the old house into a nightclub. While inspecting the house, Patrick, the guy who bought the house, reveals that the last owner was Jimmy Bones.
Yeah, why? You heard of him?
Well, you haven't?
No, not that I can remember.
He was a local legend back in the 70s in this area.
Sure.
There was a song.
Ooh, sing it for me, baby. Come on.
Let's do this. Ready?
This is the story of Jimmy Bones, black as night and hard as stone. Sorry, something about a deuce, a switchblade, and a switchblade and a dime.
Get yourself a couple of dollars and go buy you a piece of candy or something. Thank you, Uncle Jimmy.
Thank you, Uncle.
Jimmy Bones. Oh, Maurice, Jimmy Bones. How badass.
So, because of the story of Jimmy Bones, Patrick decides to use Bones as a gimmick for the club. Elsewhere, that white girl befriends that demon dog and feeds him her burger. Then Patrick says in order to move the equipment in the house, they would have to live in the house, thus making the similar connections to House on Haunted Hill of a sort. I say of a sort because they don't completely rip off a House on Haunted Hill. Besides, House on Haunted Hill already had a remake in 1999. Oh, and they decide to name the demon dog Bones, and the crazy old guy tells him to shoot the dog.
What do you care then? I'm gonna tell you something, boy. Shoot that dog. Shoot the dog. Whatever you say, sir. I think it's nappy time. Nah, Tia, put him in the back.
He's fine.
Don't feed that dog!
What the hell's wrong with you?
Jump scares are so pointless, it's the equivalent of standing behind a person yelling boo. Besides, these types of things only seem effective if there's some tension leading up to the scare. This does not apply to a bunch of people talking to a crazy old guy. Anyway, this lady, whose name is Pearl, tells him about this weird warning about the dog. After Patrick introduces himself to Pearl and Cynthia, we see that she works at a tarot psychic shop. Now, for some reason, I am reminded of Miss Cleo.
Call me now for a free reading and find out the truth.
Anyway, the drug dealers from the beginning of the movie are being chewed out by their boss.
If I didn't know your mom, we just stopped. No more fucking thinking from neither one of you. All right, as I will burn your asses and snort your asses.
What? They bring the dog home and talk about how the dad's not gonna like it. The dad, whose name is Jeremiah, shows up and complains about the dog. Jeremiah hears the dog's name and then goes into a flashback.
Jimmy, Eddie Mac's gonna be there and offer Korupski too. Got it all laid out for you, baby. Well, they've got 12 minutes tops.
I can't tell if they want to make a horror movie or some type of blaxploitation movie, or a blaxploitation movie that is a horror movie. I bet if I played music from a blaxploitation movie behind this scene, this conversation would make just as much sense.
Move out of this dump, hit the big time, big houses, legitimate businesses, and workspace. That's your dream, not mine. I don't ever want to lose this street. Never. Status quo, totally cool.
Anyway, back at the place of the drug dealer, whose name is Eddie, he's talking to the crooked detective from earlier, whose name is Lopovich, about the deal. Afterwards, back at the house, the white boys from the beginning of the movie are mentioned on the news. Patrick says something should be done about that neighborhood after Jeremiah says that it's a bad neighborhood and no one should go over there. Patrick asks if that was Jeremiah's old hood. He detests that hood as if it was always the worst place ever and claims that the area has died and gone to hell.
It's already died and gone to hell.
Really? Because of the flashbacks, that area doesn't look that bad to me. Whatever. The detective meets with Jeremiah to tell him that somebody stole the building. The same building the audience knows was bought by the kids. The next day, the kids get ready to stay the night in the building, and Patrick starts talking to Pearl's daughter, Cynthia, who decides to see him. She starts talking about some psychic mumbo-jumbo about the city of the dead and how the world has two worlds and there are walls that separate life and death in the world. And when people die, they go to the world of stuff or whatever. This film would have made more sense if Bones rose from the dead because he was motivated purely by revenge. Did we really need all this psychic crap?
You believe?
If I did, do you think I would come within 50 yards of your door?
Whether it's to be believed or not, the Wall of the Dead attempts to eat one of the kids who thinks it's a prank, and then when he sees Bones' face in the ceiling, he freaks out. Back at Pearl's place, Pearl's preparing for a tarot reading? Or is it a seance? Whatever. She tries to get her daughter to take part in this, but she wants to finish her painting. Because she's sang. She tries to convince Cynthia not to go hang out around the house or the dog because they're allegedly pure evil.
It's a bad place. And a door to worse.
This leads into a flashback from Pearl's time with Bones. And now Pearl kind of looks like one of Pam Grier's blaxploitation characters. And she read Bones' palms to find out that his life is in danger and tries to warn him not to go back to his place. Anyway, Cynthia does not care for her mother's warning and she goes to the house anyway. They look around the house after seeing some bleeding pipes. They find the spot where Bones is buried. They start panicking because of the fact that he's buried under his own house with a knife in his chest.
This is the story of Jimmy Bones, black as night and hard as stone. Gold-plated deuce like the king of Siam, got a switchblade loose and a diamond on his hand. Dude, there's a switchblade and there's a diamond, man, I'm telling you.
While they're talking about why they can't call the police, Cynthia sees an unfinished special effect, which I guess is supposed to be Bones' ghost. After leaving the area, Maurice decides to rob Bones for his ring. So during another tarot reading, seance, Cynthia and Patrick go to a room in Bones' house to have sex, but she says she can't because of stuff and whatever. Okay, it's because of psychic interference during the seance, but she makes it sound like she's on a time of the month or something. But then Cynthia gets molested by her bed sheets while Bones is sending a message to Pearl. And no, this is not my main attempt at some kind of metaphor or something. Cynthia literally gets raped by the bed sheets. Whatever this is, they try to play it off as a scary scene. They failed. After putting the finishing touches on the club, Patrick shows his dad, who thinks it's a sick joke.
Sick joke? No! Look, Pop! You listen to me, boy. I didn't work all of my goddamn life to get out of this neighborhood for you to move right back in it.
I thought you'd be proud of me. Just trying to do what you did. Take nothing and make something out.
Jeremiah starts freaking out about the old neighborhood and tells Patrick to shut down the club, and Patrick refuses. I think Jeremiah takes it well.
That is bullshit! You sell it back and that is a fucking order! You fucking hear me? You sell it! You sell it, goddammit! You shut it down and you sell it, fucker! Sell it, Patrick!
into it, man. That's what I'm saying. Jimmy's into it. He just...
So in the final flashback of this film, Eddie and Lopovich are trying to convince Bones to start selling drugs. But Bones does not want to sell drugs, but instead he wants to continue to run this lottery. But Eddie and Lopovich force Bones to try their product at gunpoint, and then they shoot him. But Lopovich doesn't want to be the only one with Bones' blood on his hands.
I'm not gonna be the only one in this room with that nigga's blood on my hands. Get his knife.
So everyone stabs Bones at gunpoint with Eddie and Lopovich threatening to kill them if they don't. And after they stab Bones to death, his soul immediately floats to the city of the dead. It's like this movie couldn't stick to just one horror cliche. They had to go with all of them. From undead slashers to haunted houses to demons in a world of demons inside the haunted house to psychic powers. None of this is scary to me. Well, the third act of the film is where I really thought this whole story got real silly. Okay, so they go into the club when it's finally open. Everyone's partying and stuff, and this woman goes up to Maurice and invites him into one of the rooms. Then the lady turns into the demon dog and eats Maurice. And I think the unfitting music that's playing in the club takes the tension out of the scene. Well, Bill wonders where Maurice is because it's his turn to DJ, so he sends Patrick to get him. And when Patrick finds him, he sees Maurice being eaten up by the demon dog. Then the demon dog gets Mill as Mill's being interrupted, so he spits maggots on Patrick. Maggots? Seriously? That's really not scary. Gross, but not scary. But for some reason, the movie thinks it's still scary because the dog spits up so many maggots on everybody that arranged maggots throughout the whole club. The maggot starts getting everybody's food and drink. When people notice it, they start to leave the party. This is what makes people freak out. Ignoring the fact that Bones is back to life and he set the place on fire. And during the excitement, a newly revived Bones takes his ring back from a now dead Maurice.
Guess you won't be needing this. Or this. Motherfucker.
Later, Bones pays a visit to the old guy, his old partner, who tries to apologize to him, only for Bones to slit his throat. Patrick tries to get Jeremiah to talk about his past, but he refuses. Meanwhile, Bones is in Eddie's old neighborhood.
Are you looking to score?
Little brother. I got a natural high. A supernatural high.
Oh, you got
Yeah, this line. See, this movie came out at a time when Snoop Dogg allegedly stopped smoking weed. So this line was probably in the movie to show homage to this, maybe. I would almost think it was clever if it wasn't for the drug dealers trying their best to be as obnoxious as humanly possible. Thankfully, Bones murders these two in the silliest way possible.
Here it is.
Meanwhile, okay, why use tarot? Seriously. But it's because at that time it was popular. They could have just said Pearl could read minds and everything would have been better. But I guess they wanted to cash in on a trend that was lame even when it was new. Meanwhile, Bones taunts Eddie by chopping up that white girl he wanted to screw and throwing her in the trash. And Eddie tries to shoot him multiple times only for it to do nothing. Bones taunts Eddie for his stupidity.
Is that it? Your big ass tidal wave?
He pins her to a wall with his magical ghost superpowers and then kills him.
You think I'ma do it? Think I'ma do it?
Fuck you, Jimmy, you jive ass nigga.
So Eddie calls Lopovich and tells him to meet him at a place. And I don't think I just misspoke just now. I mean, Eddie is dead, right? Yeah, he's dead. Bones is just using Eddie's soul. Bones is just using Eddie's head to hold Eddie's soul for some reason.
What you need with my head?
I'm just using it to carry your soul, sucker.
My soul? Fuck you. I killed you. You killed me. We even. Damn, why you gotta get all meta-fucking physical, nigga?
Well, Lopovich is lured to some kind of abandoned building where Bones forces Lopovich to smoke something the same way he did to him in the 70s. Then Bones removes Lopovich's mouth and steals his soul.
Can Jeremiah come out and play?
What it is and what it will be, my brother.
It will be your ass.
How the hell did you get in here? At a time like this? Is that what you really want to know? How the fuck I got in here?
Oh my God, Jimmy.
Well, Bones has a point. It kind of was a dumb question. Eddie and Lopovich are complaining about the wall of souls while Bones explains why he's about to send their souls into that wall. Then he feeds their heads to the wall. Meanwhile, more psychic crap is explained about how to kill Bones. Something about destroying something with his blood on it. Anyway, Bones is taunting and torturing Jeremiah with the wall while he pleads for his life. But his pleas fall on deaf ears as Bones throws Jeremiah into the wall.
Dog eat dog, brother. Dog eat dog.
While searching around the club, Pearl steps into an elevator that takes her up to where Bones is, and then she is transformed into how she looked in the 70s. So everyone is wandering around the house, and then they realize that they're entering the city of the dead, which look like more of those decaying flesh soul things that are forever glued to a wall. They figure they won't get lost as long as they remember the original layout of the house, but then they arrive at 3 rooms which is not in the original layout of the house. Then the ghost of Maurice shows up and leads them into the wrong way. In kind of a gay way.
Where you going, man? Maurice, what the hell you at?
Anyway, everyone's searching the house for Bones when...
Surprise, nigga.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Bones tries to steal Patrick's soul. Pearl remembers that the bloody dress she's wearing is the item that she needs to destroy, so she sets herself afire rather than taking off the dress and burning it. Guess she didn't want to be naked. Sure, why not? The house falls apart, Bones disappears, and Patrick and Cynthia escape the house with their lives. For today.
Dog eat dog, boy. Dog eat dog.
Great. More maggots. Yay. So that's all that. What do I think? Yeah. This movie is an unintentional, hilarious mess of a movie, and it's not even Snoop Dogg's fault. I'm still convinced that this movie is a comedy rather than a horror film. Between the blaxploitation homage, the use of psychic powers, and the only major people Bones killed were unlikable people who had it coming, I think this movie was still too much. Oh well, thanks for listening to me babble on about whatever for how long. God bless and have a nice rest of the day. It's rest of the day. It's rest of the day.
And that's what it's like to be a gangster.
Denise Boutet, Richard T. Jones, Sharon Leal, Lamont Rucker, Jill Scott, Tasha Smith, Michael Jai White, Malik Yoba, Janet Jackson, and Tyler Perry.
I think we did all right.
In Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married? Because at some point, everyone asks, why did I get married?
You should smoke with me.
Chronic to me, it's like a tradition to me. I got to pare down, so sit down and listen to me. Don't go against me, fool, go with me. And we can blow it all together like Bobby Brown and Whitney. Yeah, we got something in common. They can search a nigga, but they never find him my bombing. I got the stash spot, my cash got a lot of motherfucking police shots. I'm not the one, nigga, you can call me the two. Bob Marley reincarnated, pupils dilated, emancipated, concentrated, invaded, rated many times. You surprised how I made it, huh? You hate it, huh? But you know, I ain't even tripping. I'm splitting that swisher up, plotting on the come up. I'm living my life and never putting my gun up. Drinking my drink and I'ma smoke that blunt. The greener the tree, the better the bud, the strength of the branches.